earlier. What can you do to simplify patents and try to fight patent trolls, which, in my opinion, clog up courts with mindless lawsuits?
Yep.
We passed a piece of patent reform legislation about 2 or 3 months ago that I think went a long way toward alleviating that problem. Part of the problem is the rest of the world doesn't play by the same rules as we play by. And we've got examples of China stealing our technology left and right. We all need to be on sort of the same platform and the same level when it comes to patents and patent reform. And again, it should not be a long, cumbersome hassle in this country to think of, develop, and produce an idea and turn it into a product. And it is much too cumbersome. The patent reform law that we passed a few months ago will help move us down that road, because we were still living according to rules that were about 40 to 50 years old. Yes, sir.
On the subject of innovation, yesterday was a historic day. The Dragon 9 space capsule delivered cargo to the International Space Station. First time a commercial vehicle has done that. A couple years ago, Obama canceled the Constellation program. And politicians, particularly in the Senate, in order to keep those dollars flowing to the contractors that had been involved in Constellation, came up with the Space Launch System, which has been derisively referred to as a Senate launch system. Rohrbacher called it the SLS Titanic. This year's budget proceedings, there are politicians who want to take money from the Commercial Development Program, part of NASA, which is in part responsible for the Falcon 9 Dragon mission to the space station. They want to take money from that program to prop up the SLS program, and they also want to accelerate the down select process on the commercial crew program so that they can more easily steal those funds. Now, for me, the bottom line is Space Launch System, estimate of NASA CBO, I believe CBO, definitely NASA, to do 4 missions, $40 billion. Now, NASA just signed a contract with SpaceX for 12 missions to the space station for $1.6 billion. To me, the economics of SLS is totally nonsensical, and I am hoping that you would speak out against attempts to take funds out of the commercial development program and having them redirected, or not allow them to be redirected to the Space Launch System.
I feel like Jerry Maguire. You lost me at hello. He lost me. You're probably right. Again, I would need to. Excuse me. You're probably right. Again, not at all familiar. But the economics would need to be looked at, and again, I hope to look at. I don't know what the House has done with that at all.
Yeah, I know you're not on that committee.
Well, again.
But still, I think the commercial program. And here's the other thing. In the meantime,
quickly,
NASA just signed a contract for $753 million with Russia, so that Russia will be delivering things to the space station. It just makes so much more sense to me that we encourage entrepreneurial activities in this country.
Absolutely, and that's ultimately where I would fall. Let's get a couple more quickies, and then I've got a quick conclusion. So quickies, go.
What can we do to preserve our 2 best natural resources? You know, oil. We are the Saudi Arabia of natural gas. It's there. We know it's there. We can't get it out. And more importantly, our children.
Hold your thought on children. On natural gas and oil, look, guys, this isn't hard. I said this is a really important election. It's also a really easy election. Okay, I'm going to be simple again. Obama doesn't want us drilling. Romney wants to drill a lot. Walsh wants to drill a lot. Duckworth doesn't want to drill. If you want to drill for oil, this isn't complicated. If you think we should be drilling a lot more for oil and exploring. We have the largest natural gas reserves in the world. Then again, Republicans generally will do that a lot more. Now, what were you saying about kids?
Okay, we have lost, 60 million children over the last several decades. If we thought about the economic impact, if all those children were still alive.
You've lost me. Lost how? Abortions.
Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't know where you were going.
Sorry.
I didn't know where you were
Right.
going.
But if we had, like, Europe, socialism in Europe doesn't work because of the demographics. They're not producing enough children.
They are not producing enough kids.
To care for the
Yes.
seniors. When
Yes.
So.
That would be a very frightening road for us to go down as well.
Right.
I concur.
And
I concur.
we're doing the same thing. I mean, our states should be looking after and protecting children coming up because they are going to be the taxpayers of the future.
Short answer, I agree wholeheartedly with everything you're saying. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to do something, have to do something about the fraud in the government. Like they say there's
You're saying there's fraud in government?
there's $100 billion just in Medicare alone, right? There was a news report on Indianapolis TV station. Landscapers were claiming their kids in Mexico as dependents, and they were getting,
Keep going.
and they were getting a $29,000 tax return on money they didn't even make.
Yes.
And it amounts to $6 billion a year just for
Yes,
housekeeping.
yes. You're coming next. This isn't surprising, guys. You're right. We should weed out and eliminate all the fraud, waste, and abuse in government. You'd save billions. This is all part of the same problem. All of us have created this monster called huge government. It's not surprising. There's going to be a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse. Tons. We got to go after it. We have to have the will to go after it. Politicians all say that, but mostly they don't go after it. Yes, sir.
Well, you mentioned oil, but we have enough depleted uranium in Kentucky to literally fuel the country until the planet.
Then go after it.
Well, it's so regulated. There's a certain
Unregulated. I'm with you. I'm not just talking about oil. Coal, nuclear, natural gas. My God, we have tons of resources that we have to go after. And the reason we aren't is because we're regulating this stuff to death. Why? Again, there is a mindset exemplified by this president that wants wind and the sun to power your car tomorrow. Now, I will argue that wind and sun has a role, and wind and sun down the road will play a role. But right now, you're going to fill up your car with gas tomorrow. And I want to do all. We need to do all. We need to explore all. Quickly. Last one.
Quick question.
Hold on, and then I'll say
Obamacare has a provision, I just want you to confirm this, that to fund Obamacare, there's a provision where next year they're going to assess a 3.8% real estate tax.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
And on
Hey,
commercial?
hey, look, guys, the story of Obamacare is every week we've learned something bad about it. Every week. So, again, this isn't surprising. This happens when the government dumps a bill on us that they don't understand and they haven't studied. So they put a lot of things in there to pay for it. Going back to student loans, do you know the government now has a monopoly on the student loan industry? That was put into Obamacare to help pay for Obamacare. Duh, not surprising. Are you going to be quick?
Yes. What defense does the people in the United States have against North Korea smuggling dirty bombs across the border into China, putting them into containers, taking these containers and bringing them into the United States, and they aren't inspected or anything? They could put them in every major city, blow up at the same time, and completely destroy the United States,
Hey,
and we have no defense against that.
Stop. Don't say we have no. Every crowd I'm in front of, when this topic comes up, I say the following. Put your hand down, young man. I say the following. And I say this to high school classes especially, because I want them to look me in the eyes. It is not a matter of if, Patrick and Alex. It's not a matter of if another 9/11 is going to happen. It's a matter of when. And again, Don't be nuanced. There are evil people around the world right now trying to do just that. Trying to get their hands on weapons that will make 9/11 look like child's play. I don't know about you. I don't want my government stepping on my privacy or infringing upon my rights, but I want my government defending against that threat. And so what we got now, this is the world we're living in. We want our government doing something, but it's a delicate dance. But no, don't say your government has no defense. This is part of what your government is trying to fight against. Are they doing it well? Well, here's the beautiful thing. You and I don't know. You don't know 99.99999% of what your government's doing. I'm in Congress. I don't think I know 99% of what our government's doing. Maybe it should be that way.
Clarification, please.
Quickly. Last
I
one.
believe you were talking to a student in Lake Park before about education.
Yes.
And you had said that you're for giving tax dollars from private and public, or giving it to
Yes.
parents, okay? And it seems to be a conflict with saying we gotta help eliminate the deficit. When you're giving money to that.
No. The money's already there. See, what we do now is, like, take Chicago. We spend about $14,000 or $15,000 per pupil in high school in Chicago. All I want to do is say, we're already putting that money in. Give the parent $9,000 of that. Let the rest of it go into the schools. But give the parent $9,000, and if he or she wants, she can take that $9,000 and go to the Catholic school down the street, or the Hebrew school down the street, or the
Homeschool and keep the money.
she can homeschool her child. So the money's already, I'm just saying, we all have agreed to put money into our public schools. We all have. That's part of what your government pays for. Just let the, no, it's not confusing. Let the parent, give the parent that money, not some bureaucrat.
That's true, but I thought we're entitled to public education, not somebody to be able to go take public money and go and pay the rest.
Well, if you have issues in that regard, then fight me tooth and nail. I just want an education. I don't care where it is. The education's about the kid. It's not about the school. I don't care about teachers' unions. I care about the education a kid is getting in the classroom. And you know what? Teachers' unions don't love me because they don't want what I just said to have happen. Because the thing that scares the dickens out of teachers' unions is they're going to lose kids. You let kids, oh my God, you let parents be free in the city of Chicago to go to any school, they're going to leave. They're going to lose their customers. Bill Bennett, I love this quote. This is my favorite quote. One of my favorite, in my top 4. Bill Bennett, Reagan's former education secretary, said, ooh, it's in my wallet, but I don't need it.
That's what he said?
He said, John, kick him out of here. Bill Bennett said, in this country, you pay a higher price, a higher penalty for making a bad hamburger than you do for delivering a bad education. If you make a bad hamburger day after day, what's going to happen to your fast food joint? You're out of business. But you keep delivering a bad education, nothing happens. Why? Because the consumers can't go anywhere. Hey guys, let's, I got it, hold on.
Affirming something you
This
said?
better be
It's
20
very
seconds.
quick. I am so excited to see people of color in this room, but what you said about small business, you're talking the Asians, the Latinos, that they're not here because they're working 24/7. You got to go to them. This is exactly it. Because they're working 24/7, they're working hard.
You're right.
They're taking responsibility.
You are right.
Go to them and tell them what you just said here.
You are right.
Knock on these doors. That's why, and they're playing the race card. The Obamas, they're playing the race card, the gender card.
Well, let's stop. Okay, here's my conclusion. Here's my 47-minute conclusion. Okay? I'm kidding. Here's my conclusion. Let's again, guys. None of this should be personal. I've got Obama running against Romney. I don't care where Obama was born. I don't care where Romney was born. I don't care what religion Obama is. I could care less what religion Romney is. I don't care what Obama did when he was 22. I don't care what Romney did when he was in high school. Folks, here's what I know. Americans aren't working. Our economy isn't growing. We have a debt and we're about to fall off a cliff, and we have a healthcare system that's a mess. So if I'm a